It started with an explosion that would pour radiation into the sky. The government tried to hide it from the world. Possibly thousands of people have died, and the consequences are still unfolding to this day. This is Chernobyl.
It's now clear the Soviet Union has suffered one of the worst disasters in the history of nuclear power.
In April of 1986, during what was meant to be a routine safety test, Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded. The blast tore the reactor open, exposing the core and igniting a fire that would burn for days, sending enormous amounts of radioactive material into the atmosphere, far beyond Ukraine's borders. They tried to stop it. Helicopters dropped sand, boron, lead, anything they had, but it wasn't enough. When machines reached their limit, men were sent in, clearing tons of radioactive debris by hand with only seconds to work before the exposure became lethal. Many of them would be dead within weeks. And yet, just a few kilometers away in the city of Pripyat, nearly 50,000 people went about their daily routines. Families sat down for dinner. Kids played outside, completely unaware that radiation was already moving through the air, the soil, their bodies. With the Cold War still shaping every decision, Soviet officials chose silence over protection, believing that control of the narrative mattered more than the safety of its people. The truth didn't come from Moscow. It surfaced when radiation alarms began sounding in Sweden. Only then did evacuation orders come.
There has been an accident at the Chernobyl atomic power station. The consequences of the accident are being taken care of. Help is being given to the victims of the accident. A government commission has been set up.
Residents were told to bring only what they needed. Entire lives reduced to whatever could be carried out the door.
All bus service in the city of Kiev has been stopped so that the buses can be used to evacuate those in the disaster area.
They were promised they would return in just a few days once things were under control. They didn't know it at the time, but they would never see their homes again. And that was only the beginning. Over time, the damage began to show itself with cancers and illnesses. While the official Soviet death toll stands at just 31, the United Nations estimates the real number of deaths is closer to 4,000. This wasn't just a nuclear failure. It was a failure of truth, of protecting people when it mattered most. But nearly 40 years later, this place has been pulled back into history again. War has come to the region, and today I've been given exclusive access to go inside. Nothing prepares you for how quietly it begins. One moment you're driving through the forest, and the next there's houses, hundreds of them, just sitting there beyond the trees. I'm here with Natalia. She spent years studying Chernobyl's history and exploring this place. She knows this zone better than most people ever will, but even for her, this place is unpredictable. We're heading to Kopachi, one of the first villages evacuated after the explosion. Only a few buildings are left there now, and the one we're about to see is the kindergarten.
Now we are in the village Kopachi, which is the closest one to Chernobyl nuclear power plant. And this place still have quite radioactive spots. And here we can now see one of those. We can make a measurement. Yes, it's increasing and already starts beeping as soon as it is
wow,
more
as
than
soon
the
as
dose.
we get to the forest. Now it's 2.50. Like it just went up exponentially. So that's a dangerous amount of radiation right there.
Yes, this dose would be received by us if we spent here like 1 hour, but let me get it straight as well. So
well, now I understand why I was told to not set anything on the ground.
Yes, radioactivity goes exactly from ground right now. It's not really like flying around. So now by moving with this path, it's going to be also more radioactivity to enter to the kindergarten.
So we're going into the forest with a ton of radiation, essentially. But we're fine because we're making it quick, correct?
Yes, we are not staying here, and yes, it's more radiation than it's supposed to be, but still, you know, it's not critical lethal doses of radiation that can actually harm us or change something in us. It was proved that 1 hour on plane is equal to the dose of radiation you are getting during entire day in Chernobyl exclusion zone. So it's just so you can understand.
Suddenly, I realize where I'm at, and everything else just falls away. Nothing else matters. Just this place and the weight of what happened here. Children showed up here every day. They had routines, friendships, drawings on the walls, whole little lives forming in this building. And the idea that all of it just ended instantly. This is where the world stopped.
Here, just be careful.
Yeah, there's a hole in the floor. This is incredible. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Look at this. This is wild.
Yes, I so much wanted you to see this room.
This is where all the children slept at this kindergarten. All the categories of where the books were. Oh man. Guys, this is mind-blowing. And check it out. Music papers on the floor. Wow. Looks like maybe there's a bathroom or something in here at one point. It's all collapsed in. Wow. We have another classroom here. All this shelving, it's been knocked over. And check it out. We have puzzles here. Oh, and all these toys that are on the floor. And look, children's shoe. And obviously, I'm not gonna pick up anything while we're here. I'm only gonna walk around, not really touch anything. Don't really understand the radiation thing yet. I mean, clearly someone has staged that. My mind is pretty blown by the fact that I'm here. You guys have to understand, I've waited my entire life to be in Chernobyl. This is probably #1 bucket list spot of my entire exploration career. It doesn't even feel real yet. And this is only the first place that we've stopped and looked at. And there's so much more to see. And look at this. It looks like people's schoolwork, maybe homework assignments, teacher's note or something. Maybe that says 84. That's the date, and that one's 85. I say the same thing in a lot of my videos, that a location looks apocalyptic, but this one is actually apocalyptic. And there's so much more to see. Yeah. I'm freaking out. And look at this. We're walking out from the elementary school, and we got this statue here. That's not slightly creepy. I don't know what is.
The closer we get to Pripyat, the heavier this place becomes. The absence has its own gravity. Everyone's gone, but if you look closely, there's still proof of life and of heartbreak.
We're driving through a whole forest of abandoned houses. I mean, gosh, they're everywhere. You have to look so closely too sometimes.
So this one
in the middle of the woods.
Probably the most sensitive, because you can see inscription on the house saying, "Sorry and goodbye, my home."
Sorry and goodbye, my home.
People were promised to be back in 3 days, but no one expected the scale of emergency, high radioactivity, so people never came back.
You know, it's kind of similar to what's going on now with the war.
Yes, this is really true, because when my family and I decided to leave Kiev, we left our home with just some things. When we moved to Germany, when we settled down in Germany, we started slowly to be getting some packages of our things from my grandparents, but yes, it really felt the same way. Living hope without understanding for how long properly. I just didn't know what to do, how to start over, what am I supposed to do during wartime. What the fuck? We are not filming this.
Okay. Sorry, we had to turn the camera off because we were passing by some military equipment.
Now we will make one more stop. It's gonna be a bit far away, but hopefully your camera will be able to capture it. This is River Pripyat.
Out here in the middle of this river, we have abandoned boats out there in the middle of the water. It's insane how much stuff is left behind. When I've learned about Chernobyl, I've just thought of villages, but I haven't even thought about entire bridges, roadways, boats in the middle of the water, billions of dollars left behind.
This disaster didn't just move people out. It wiped out infrastructure, industry, and transportation. And the cost wasn't just human. Financially, it climbed into the hundreds of billions. And up ahead is where the scale of it starts to sink in. This path used to be a neighborhood. Now it's barely visible. And out of the forest, a building that used to bring people together.
Now we are moving towards the biggest building in this village. It was local palace of culture, basically the building where all activities and important events occurred, different gatherings, different performances.
So it was like an auditorium.
Yes.
Oh my God. Out here in the middle of the woods. I mean, we can't just stand outside without taking a peek inside. I imagine it's completely messed up inside. I can already see it's very dilapidated in here. You can still see some tile that used to be on the walls, the very ornate tiles that used to be in here, and the crown molding up top. I mean, you can tell this used to be a very beautiful, ornate building with these big chandeliers that used to hang down. And look, they have murals made out of these tiles. But you can imagine this was a beautiful space back in the day with a lot of natural light because of all these windows that are in the room. It's a beautiful building.
Yeah, That's true.
With these big 4 columns right here on the front.
I have no idea how it's called in English, but it looks horrible.
Wait, what are these? Oh, these are caterpillars.
Oh my God.
Look.
Nice.
They're
You're biting it.
I mean, there's hundreds of them.
Yes,
Oh
everywhere.
my God. It's funny, I wouldn't even notice them had you not pointed them out.
We're leaving the Palace of Culture to head deeper into the zone and towards something that was built to watch the world tear itself apart.
So this road's not very maintained.
It wasn't maintained since 1986, let me emphasize.
The road stretches for miles into a barren wasteland. Whatever they put out here wasn't meant to be near a city. It was meant to be a secret and off the map. Then I see it in the distance.
Oh my God!
We've been approaching this thing for miles and it's still growing. And the closer we get, the more I realize this thing isn't just big. It's one of the largest structures I've ever seen.
Before this area was abandoned, it was basically the checkpoint, the entrance to this facility. Oh my God, fox, fucking fox! Почему она, блядь, сидит?
They're so majestic.
Yes. Look at us, baby, please.
Pretty incredible.
And suddenly, it's right there in front of us.
Oh my God. Guys, look at this. This is insane.
This is the Duga radar. It was built during the Cold War as part of the Soviet Union's early warning system. A massive over-the-horizon radar designed to detect incoming nuclear missiles from thousands of miles away. It transmitted a constant pulsing signal so powerful it interfered with radio broadcasts across the world. It's over 500 feet tall, nearly half a mile long, the largest radar structure ever built. But it came at a cost. Around $7 billion at the time. That's close to $40 billion today. All spent on a single structure built entirely around paranoia. And in the end, this system was designed to warn of disaster, but it completely missed the one that mattered the most.
We're staying now in front of over-the-horizon Duga radar system, the only construction like this left in our world. It's an open-air museum of Cold War area, and this one is the only one left because it's too huge and there is no easy way to just dismantle it.
Oh yeah, that would take years to dismantle this thing.
For example, to explode it, it's not an option because power plant is way too close, so it can cause the earthquake that would damage some harm to the power plant as well.
So they have no choice but just to let it stand and slowly decay away and rust.
In general, it's still in quite good condition, so it's not going to collapse anytime soon. But for now, yes, it's just staying here as a big monument of Cold War period of time.
I love the geometry of this thing. All of this material gone to waste, abandoned. Basically a monument standing in this forest. If you're an urban explorer, this is probably on your bucket list to see. I know it's been on mine for at least 10 years. It's one of those experiences that I think I'm going to be processing over the next few months. Especially in a time like right now, you know, we're in the middle of a war here in Ukraine, and Russia just occupied this entire area. In fact, they're still targeting it. And here we are freely walking around, filming this place, exploring it. And check it out. There's still military equipment on the ground here from when Russians occupied this area.
Chernobyl's been attacked twice in one lifetime. First, by negligence, then by war. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, Chernobyl was one of their first targets. Tanks and supply trucks crossed contaminated ground. Radiation monitoring systems were damaged. Soldiers slept in places where radiation never really left. Ukraine eventually pushed Russian forces out and regained control. But when they withdrew, they didn't just leave behind damage.
So when Russia occupied Chernobyl, they laid down a bunch of mines.
It's mostly inside forest, but it's not necessary to clean them deep in the forest. And one of the reasons is actually to make sure these mines are still there if Russians will try to attack again and go to Chernobyl zone, so they can actually step on their own mines as well.
Today, access to Chernobyl is rare, which makes filming here incredibly limited. The exclusion zone is lined with military positions now. Checkpoints, heavy artillery, guarded roads, and all of it points in the same direction, toward the city that was built to serve the power plant, and the city that paid the price for it. Pripyat sits just beyond this sign, the same concrete slab that's been sitting here since the Soviet days. The only thing that's different now is a tiny detail most people would miss. A single piece of punctuation added so the name reads correctly in Ukrainian and not Russian. It's subtle, but it says a lot. Even here, in one of the most contaminated places on Earth, Ukraine is reclaiming its identity, reclaiming its language, and a whole city waits for us on the other side.
Now we are driving in the city of Pripyat, and we are riding on the main road. Before it was just a nice, well-tended road with possibility to see buildings around.
Yeah, you can see them all throughout the forest. There's just skyscrapers.
The deeper we go, the harder it is to comprehend the scale of this place. And Pripyat doesn't just reveal itself all at once. It appears gradually from the forest that's taken it back. It was built in 1970, and back then it was cutting edge. The average age was 26, a model city for the Soviet Union. And now, nearly 40 years later, somehow it's all still standing. Schools, apartments, the hospital, the main square. It is the largest abandoned place on Earth, and everything is still here. Everything. Except the people.
So here you're looking at hospital. You can clearly tell that by this gynecological chair just randomly staying outside.
In the first hours after the explosion, firefighters and plant workers were brought straight to this hospital from the reactor site, still wearing the same clothes they had on while responding to the disaster. Those clothes were heavily contaminated, and they were left inside this building, making this one of the most radioactive places in all of Pripyat. Needless to say, I'm not going inside that hospital.
And now we reached a cafe called Pripyat. Very beautiful spot here.
Now we're coming around back. There's a river right behind this building. Looks like there's a dock down there. Oh, this is so cool, guys. Look at this floor, this old tile. You can tell this, back in the day, this was a very decorative building. It's definitely seen better days. Oh man, this mosaic. Wow. This is insane.
The stained glass only comes alive with light, and it was literally designed to move. As the sun makes its way across the sky, it moves through the window from left to right, morning to evening, waking each figure one at a time. The women, the flowers, the planets. They're a meditation on time, the idea that everything moves forward, whether you're ready or not.
And check this out over here. Here's the kitchen. You see an oven back there. More cooking equipment.
Jeremy, we have too many things to see. So
Natalia's telling me, hurry the fuck on, let's go.
for real, I'm just calculating if potentially you would spend that much in every location, there is no way we will make it.
We're not gonna make it. Okay. Like I've said so many times before, you could be here for a month and never see it all. This place is so massive. Oh, we're gonna check out the river.
Very careful, very careful.
So down here was like a dock for the people who come and eat at the restaurant. They can walk down here, take a stroll, and come look at the water. And now, of course, it's all dilapidated. It's wild. Natalia's happy again today.
Hell yeah.
Well, why don't you just move out here to Pripyat?
I can't. It's not allowed to do that.
I like the fact that you said it's not allowed, as in you would do it and expose yourself to the radiation. You just don't want to break the law.
The next building in front of us is cinema called after ancient god Prometheus.
Prometheus, the one who gave fire to humanity and paid for it. It feels oddly fitting for a place like this.
And almost overgrown mosaic as well. That was extraordinary expensive decoration back then, but for Pripyat as the luxury Soviet city, all of it was available.
Obviously, we can't go inside because it's way too dilapidated. Wow, this mosaic is amazing. It's still pretty well preserved. It's just hidden by brush.
You wouldn't know it from the front, but there's a little secret tucked around back.
Oh, wow.
This is basically the second part of this building, and this part, it's music school with its own mosaic as well.
So this was a music school back here.
Yes, Pripyat was that luxury that this city even had its own music school.
And just a short walk through the woods, we reached the city center.
Now we reached the spot with many interesting buildings concentrated in one location, the city center, main square of Pripyat. Now we are looking at administration building and only hotel in Pripyat.
That's the hotel up there. So why does it have a radiation sign on it?
This building was used as a radiation department, basically laboratory, to make measurements of soil after Chernobyl catastrophe for the first few months. So they installed here this radiation sign, just kind of mark it that it was radiation laboratory spot.
Oh shit, it's decided to start really raining on us now.
While we are in the city center.
Yeah, let's get out of this rain. I don't mind cold and I don't mind rain, but the combination really sucks. I mean, this is still so magical.
So,
Suddenly it just stopped
I think
raining.
it's gone.
There was just a burst of rain and now we're good.
What the hell? Yes, there is no rain. I mean, a bit of, yes, but not
Yeah, I
that
think we're
scale.
good.
This massive building in front of us, it's Palace of Culture called Energetic, after energy. The building with different type of activities available in past. The theater area, dancing hall, swimming pool, different gatherings, activities, performances were held exactly in this building.
I don't know why, but I always thought that Pripyat was a smaller town. I mean, we're in the middle of an actual city.
Now we reached the restaurant, the central one, together with the very, very luxury supermarket where people of Soviet Union could find literally everything, because back then there was a huge shortage of products, especially sausages and cheese, for example. But here, everything was fantastic with selection and options, again, because of the reason of luxury city.
I keep catching myself thinking, how does she know all this? The dates, side stories, and the pieces that never make it into the documentaries. I'll ask something simple, and she answers with depth I didn't even realize was there. This isn't trivia to her. It's home.
I'm glad the rain let up a little bit.
Thank God, because we are first far away from the car and we are in the most interesting part of the city as well. So good for us, good for us.
So this was a shopping center.
You can say like that, yes. The supermarket, store.
Oh my God. Check it out, you can see all the shelving over here where they used to put food on, shopping carts. These were the aisles that people would walk down. I love the sound of this building. All the raindrops. And just to think that right now I'm walking on some pretty radioactive ground. This is truly apocalyptic. So the administrator of the nuclear power plant used to live in this apartment complex.
Yes.
Radiation levels are pretty high still, correct?
In most of the cases inside the apartments, it's lower level of radiation by the same logic as it is almost always smaller doses of radiation in car when we are driving, because we are protected by walls, by windows. So in buildings, it's not high.
Everyone comes and gets this same photo with the reflection. It's truly the perfect shot.
There was a time when it was possible to capture this place, but not anymore. For years, Chernobyl's been a top destination for urban explorers, filmmakers, and travelers from every corner of the globe. But that changed fast. The only way you're getting access now is alongside certified Chernobyl personnel, and radiation isn't even the main concern anymore.
Ukrainian militaries can just shoot whoever they see in forest because no one is supposed to be walking in forests. It might be Russians, like some spies.
So you're saying there's potential that there's Russian spies in these forests?
They constantly wandering around. Ukrainian militaries constantly catch Russians just sneaking into the territory for information purposes.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's not jokes. That is why it's so many militaries, checkpoints, control. Everything is super strict. There is literally border of Belarus here with Chernobyl zone, and this is how Russians sneak in through this Belarus border. That is why, yeah, all of us should always prove we are here officially, we are press members. That is why we have so much control. And obviously based on previous experience when Russians entered Chernobyl zone through the Belarus border, we understand that it can be repeated anytime. So that is why there is this control.
And now I understand why there's artillery, there's tanks set up all throughout this region.
Yes, it's no jokes.
It's so magical in this forest. You're literally walking under really tall buildings, standing here, part of the forest now. I knew Chernobyl would be amazing, but this is beyond comprehension. As we're walking, more and more buildings keep emerging out of the trees.
This is school number 1. Because of time, it's half collapsed already, since this is microdistrict number 1, the oldest part of Pripyat.
And look at this tree just growing out of the front porch of this school. Wait, is this a greenhouse?
Yes.
There's a path right here.
Yes, let's go. I also want to film this one.
It's so rare that you see abandoned greenhouses that are still standing because most of them are made of metal frame and plastic, but this one is made of metal and glass. And guys, look at this. This is truly the most amazing greenhouse I've ever seen. And it's so well preserved still. So I imagine this was maybe a greenhouse part of the school?
Yes, 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 for some biology classes.
And look, there's plants still in the pots. So beautiful here, guys. I like our unconventional path that we're taking back to the car. All right. So I have a personal question for you. This is probably your favorite place in the world, and it brings you so much joy, but do you ever forget this is also a sad place?
This is a very interesting and good question, because in our world we do have many locations and places of tragedies, like Auschwitz, for example, and there are still trips, there are still possibilities to go to see these spots. It's about education, it's about mind opening things. I mean, obviously I'm not forgetting, but on the other hand, for example, right now, with everything that is happening in Ukraine, to be honest, I really perceive this place as exit from cruel reality of everything that is happening around, because it's just peace, silence, and nothing
this is
here.
a nice escape for you.
Yes, escape. I wanted to use this word, but forgot it. Yes, yes. This is exactly what I wanted to say. The escape. Yeah, and we arrived.
The last thing you'd expect to find in an abandoned radioactive city is a Ferris wheel. And yet, this is one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of Pripyat. It was built for a new amusement park, scheduled to open on May 1st, 1986, just 5 days after the explosion at Chernobyl.
When people say the word Chernobyl, this is the image that I see in my head. I've seen this in so many photographs, and it's so much bigger in real life than it looks like in the photos.
The park never officially opened, but it's rumored the wheel actually turned on for a little while after the explosion, just to keep the kids distracted while the adults tried to figure out what was happening. Others say it never turned on at all. Either way, it went from being brand new to completely abandoned in a matter of days, and it's been stuck there ever since.
That just goes to show you how much in process this whole area was to being constructed when all this happened.
It was still expanding, it was still under construction. More and more micro-districts were supposed to occur, to be built. And just like that, it's all now frozen on time, just as a time capsule of Soviet Union times.
I've never been to such an overwhelming abandoned location before, where it's too much to look at. It's a total stimulation overload. Also, the surrounding nature with all the colors and stuff, it's so beautiful.
And that beauty doesn't stop at the amusement park. It keeps going. It eventually found the sports stadium. This place was built for energy, for weekends when 5,000 people showed up because they lived here, worked here, and figured they'd always would.
And let me get it straight so you understand what's going on. This entire forest, it was football field.
There were floodlights, a running track, and a football club made of workers from the city. In 1985, they were having their best season. And then they stopped. The field's gone now, and nature didn't rush in. It just slowly took the space back, 1 year at a time. It's beautiful in a way that's hard to explain, because no one ever came back to interrupt it.
And if it all being abandoned isn't enough, the thought of it being radioactive adds a whole new layer.
And then you start to understand that some places here weren't just witnesses to the disaster, they were part of it.
So this is the fire station. One of the most important buildings, turns out.
On the night of the explosion, firefighters were dispatched from here almost immediately. They grabbed their gear, pulled on boots, climbed into trucks, and drove straight into something no one had bothered to explain. Many of the men who responded from this station would be among the first to suffer from acute radiation sickness. Back then, that phrase probably didn't mean much to them, but within weeks, some were already dead. Others lived long enough to piece it together, to realize the fire wasn't just fire. It was something invisible, something already inside them.
So this is where all the fire trucks were parked, inside here, and as soon as they got the call, they came rushing out of these doors.
This isn't just an abandoned fire station. It's where the human response to Chernobyl began. It's where some of the first lives were lost trying to stop something no one had ever explained to them.
This down here is where you would maintain the fire trucks, do the oil changes.
Walking through this building now, it feels ordinary, and I think that's what makes it so unsettling. Now it's quiet, just a building that once sent people toward danger, still standing long after the danger moved on.
What's in here? So here's some storage for parts for the trucks. And in here it looks like there's probably more storage for parts. Yeah, check it out. It looks like back in the day, this is probably a well-organized facility. So yeah, it looks like this right here was likely some type of office back in the day. But check this out, all these milk crates with all these bottles. Here's some of the bedding where the firefighters would sleep. Because you gotta consider, these guys were on call 24/7. So there's probably some lodging back here. Ooh, look at this room. I love the piping in here. Ooh, and I love the natural light. So satisfying. And here's the electrical room. Imagine they probably repurposed it for something else. Oh, and here's the locker room. Looks like a piece of a helmet here on the floor. And look at this rusted locker. This is random, check this out. Look at all of these shoes. And these are children's shoes. I wonder why that is. There's a lot of them too. Perhaps maybe donations or something at some point. I know I keep saying, but everything here is so photogenic. And look at this mural on the wall, made just for this fire station. Guys, this is incredible. Yeah, it's like they didn't have time to pack up everything before they left. They just had to take what was truly important and just get out of here. More office space here. Ooh, we have a book. Even though I can't read. Oh, look, someone drew that on this book. That's so cool. Little did they know that this book would wind up sitting on a shelf inside of an abandoned building after a massive nuclear meltdown. I'm going for it. There's no telling how long it's been since someone's been inside this room. I mean, look at this furniture. It's so neat. Oof. Oh, this is all glass right here. Ha. And is this a fridge? Guys, y'all know what time it is. It's time to check the fridge. Oh, a whole lot of nothing. Check it out, we got ice skates. So yeah, they look like this is possibly a little kitchen area. Because we got a stove here in the corner. I imagine you could make some coffee with a kettle there. Probably had some plates, dishware in this cabinet. Obviously, we got a super rad fridge. And I found an exit to this building.
We go now to the prison. So let's go to that place better.
You heard her. We go now to the prison.
Oh my God.
Wait, hold on. I just caught what you were saying. This is a prison.
Look, it's like police station, and on police station, it's more like jail where you are sitting temporary, not like you are
waiting your court.
Yes, not like you are sitting here for ages. It's just a place, for temporary staying. Yeah, I knew you would definitely love it.
Oh man, I'm on cloud 9. I'm a kid in a candy shop.
Very nice comparison, yeah.
So I've come to Ukraine, all the way to Ukraine, just to go to jail. This is a really bad joke. So now this is the jail section of this facility. Whoa, wow, look at this. The jails here look very similar to the jails in the US. And look at that, that's where you would use the bathroom. This is crazy. It's so cold and just concrete. I mean, look at this. This is where they would slip food right here. They have a little eye hole that they can see inside the cell. And guys, look. All you have is this to lay on. Maybe, hopefully for these guys, they had a little bit of padding that they could lay on, but I hope this was a one-person room, but something tells me it wasn't. Yeah, so all the cells on this side of the hall are a lot smaller. I wonder if perhaps maybe the heavier crime that you did, you wind up on this side of the hall. I know if I was gonna be stuck in this place, I would definitely prefer these larger rooms. Oh, no way, guys. Man, look. Oh my God, this is an old Soviet tank. And look, it's got that old original Soviet color that a lot of those Soviet motorcycles were painted with. Treasures everywhere. But obviously you don't want to take anything from here because, well, it's radioactive. Okay, so this right here, check this out, guys. Look how small these things are. I thought this was a locker room, but look at this. Let me see if I can get the camera inside of here. If you look closely inside, there's seating inside of here. This, without doubt, is some type of solitary confinement. They would literally put people in here and lock them inside. This is barbaric. This, guys, is so Soviet. Wow, and here is, it looks like perhaps an administrative desk. Perhaps this right here was a holding cell. Right when you're freshly arrested, maybe they would hold you right here. Wow. I would not want to wind up in here. Look at this. This is a padded door. for sound. And here's the entrance to the police station. Oh, and by the way, there's 3 levels to this police station. And I just found the stairs. So, let's go up them. God, this building is huge. Yeah, it's wild to think that this is a police station. I was thinking a small facility. Look at this. These look like prisoner shoes. These slip-on cheap shoes. There's a bunch of them. Yeah, I imagine these were definitely for prisoners. They all look identical and they don't look comfortable. So someone's coming by. I'm gonna turn my light off. Yeah, definitely a military vehicle. I don't know if I'm allowed to be up here. 3rd floor, baby, here we come. Hell yeah. Okay, obviously, since it's the 3rd floor and it gets the most exposure to rain and UV light, it's the most dilapidated floor of the building. It's like nature always claims the top floor first. It doesn't look like there's much up here. I just wanted to come up here on this floor to show you guys how massive this police station is. And this is one of the thousands of buildings that are abandoned in Chernobyl. And oh my God, look, there's another floor. Surely this goes to the rooftop. Guys, we have to do it. Okay, so surely this is the last floor. More padded doors. So according to what Natalia's been saying, oh shit, here's another. There's another vehicle. So anyway, according to what Natalia has been telling me, is that all the buildings in this area here in Pripyat are pretty much like this. They're pretty well cleaned out. I don't know how that's possible because there's so many of them. I mean, look, just right here across the street, there's a huge apartment complex. I mean, I think a lot of them are cleaned out, but many of them still aren't because of the radiation that's still inside much of these buildings.
In some buildings, removing personal belongings would have meant exposing more people to danger than what it was worth. And that same logic carried over to basically everything else. This is one of the several vehicle graveyards scattered across the exclusion zone.
Oh, wow.
After the explosion, the cleanup effort burned through machines at a pace nobody was prepared for, and every single one of them had to be discarded after it was used. Millions of dollars worth. Fire engines, trucks, armored vehicles, helicopters, anything that could move debris, transport people, or hold up long enough in radiation to get the job done. Some were contaminated but stable enough to be parked and left above ground. Others were too radioactive for even that. Those were pushed into trenches and buried in the ground.
It's incredible how much machinery and buildings, material was wasted from this catastrophe. And it goes all the way back. Oh my God, there's so much of it. I mean, look at this. Big machinery used to remove the radioactive waste. But obviously, if you use any machinery for this reason, it's pretty much trashed.
Many of these vehicles worked in radiation so intense, they broke down mid-operation. most of them were knowingly treated as expendable. In fact, engineers expected them to fail, and once they broke down, they were left. Maintenance or repair simply wasn't worth the additional radiation exposure.
All these military vehicles. I mean, all of this Soviet equipment just completely left behind. It's all gutted out. It's an old fire extinguisher, it looks like. Oh, and check this one out. So this right here is a tank with a big plow on the front of it. I've never seen anything like this before. Oh, check it out. We can see the inside of it. Ooh, the smell. When you walk up to this thing, you're hit with the smell of rust, oil, old grease. So satisfying. And check out all these cars that are lined up on top of this building. Yeah, I don't know why they did it like that, but it looks pretty damn cool.
Walking through here, it hits me that this isn't just a scrapyard. It's a record of the cleanup effort itself. Every vehicle here was used for a specific job, but more importantly, each one represents a choice to sacrifice equipment instead of people. This isn't the part of Chernobyl people usually think about, the cost of containing it. And this is one of the many places where that cost was left behind.
This is the swimming pool building, and there is also a sport gym here, and the school will be on the left.
It's amazing that you know where all this is.
After so many years.
I wouldn't even notice that there's a building off in there, but apparently it's a massive school. Oh, and look how this Soviet-style architecture.
The first floor is basically like the entrance, and everything will be on the second floor.
We have a gym here. Yeah, the floor is collapsing in. It feels like mush underneath your feet. This is amazing. Oh, and here is the pool, everybody. This pool was really deep. How many meters?
As far as I remember, it's supposed to be 10 meters.
So 30 feet deep. That is a big pool. So this is a timer for swimming competitions that they would have.
Yes, different competitions took place as it was the only huge swimming pool like this in Pripyat. It was constructed to Olympic standards. The diving tower as well. That is why the swimming pool is so deep on that side.
"30 feet deep. It's a long way down. And this diving board is incredible.
Azure's swimming pool wasn't just a luxury, it was a point of pride. After the explosion, it stayed open longer than most anywhere else in Pripyat. Men came here straight from the cleanup. They used the pool to wash radioactive dust from their bodies. Turns out, chlorinated water was one of the few ways to wash the contamination off before it followed them home. It operated for a few weeks after the evacuation, and then, like everything else, it shut down.
So here is the school.
Yes, and this is actually the biggest school in Pripyat.
The biggest school in this entire town.
Yes.
And check it out. This building is really dangerous. If your guide leaves you inside it, he risks your life. But it didn't say she, so we're good. Oh, wow. Oh, and look at this room. I mean, thousands of gas masks.
Yeah, it should be the relevant number to how many children were studied at this school, so...
How many children studied this school?
Only information I remember is that it was over 1,000 children, so you were correct about...
When the evacuation happened, there was no time to hand out the masks. And even if there was, it wouldn't have helped. The filters weren't designed for radioactive particles. What's left here isn't protection. It's evidence of how ready this place thought it was, and how little that preparation actually mattered.
The architecture in here is so wild. All the details. And I say this all the time, but even the details on the walls, all of this decay, it looks like art. So what is this sign that we're looking at here?
In each school and kindergarten, and generally everywhere in Soviet Union, it was vitally important to have different sort of propaganda about how amazing Soviet Union is, glory to Lenin, glory to Stalin, and all these things about government.
That's it.
Yeah, how to live your life properly in Soviet Union. Jeremy, we'll go to the second floor because it's more interesting on the second floor.
For her, it's just background, something you grow up around and stop noticing. For me, it's loud. An entire system written on the walls, telling kids who to be and how to think. I get the sense that was just a taste of what I'm about to see.
Yeah, I can see why you say this is very interesting on the second floor. Wow, look at all of these books on the floor. Just covered in a layer of dust. This is absolutely mind-blowing. It looks like here is possibly more Soviet Union propaganda. It's wild that even in children's classrooms, there's propaganda hanging on the wall. So fascinating. Yeah, look outside. This is all more of the school, all around here. Yeah, she's not kidding. This is a big school. This is 3 levels to this school, and possibly a basement as well. Surely there's a basement, correct? Because bomb shelter regulations?
Almost in every school and kindergarten there was some sort of, not like shelter, but yes, something like basement, the room for cable traces and things like that.
My God, we're walking on mounds of books.
There was just a spider.
A spider web.
Yeah.
That was a nice karate kick. Oh, wow. Guys, look at this. This classroom is so well preserved, and nothing is staged at all.
Sure.
It looked just like this when the tragedy happened.
Oh, yeah, especially that.
There's nothing staged whatsoever.
It's easy to laugh at the staging, but it's harder to ignore what's real. What gets me is how familiar this feels. I've sat in rooms like this before. Different country, different system, but the structure's the same. Same desks, same chalkboard, same expectation that kids would come in, sit down, and be taught how the world works. Rooms like this were built on an assumption we all grow up with, that tomorrow's coming, that routines will continue, that all this is leading somewhere. But being in this room, it's hard not to realize how fragile that assumption really is.
And just when I'd think that Chernobyl can't get any cooler, I mean, there's so much to look at. Got another classroom here. I mean, and again, guys, I mean, thousands and thousands of books. The ground is soft because I'm stepping on so many layers of books.
I didn't expect this many books. Some of them are familiar, math, science, literature. But then there's the others, the ones that aren't about learning how things work, but about learning how to think, or maybe how not to. They just point you toward a conclusion and tell you to stay there. And now they're all the same, textbooks and propaganda sharing the floor, stripped of authority.
I mean, there's so many classrooms in here. It's a complete maze in this school. It's amazing how much stuff is left behind. Look at this. It's so Soviet in here. And guys, I know I'm rushing through this, but we only have a limited amount of time. We can't be here past dark, so I'm just trying to film as much as I possibly can. Just classroom after classroom. Some more remnants of a gas mask. Some old film. There's so much stuff to look at. The bookshelves here. Obviously, all the books are on the floor. This looks like more Russian propaganda for sure. Man, it's like a playground in here. You'll never see it all. More classrooms, and they all still have the desks in them.
Yeah, this area, I mean Pripyat in general, now you can at least understand my fascination and all this excitement. It's never enough.
Yeah, it's never enough. I can understand why you want to come back here over and over and over again, because every time you see something new.
And it's kind of like every time after trip, when I'm home, I'd be like, damn, I needed to do this picture. I needed to do this video.
Oh, I know that feeling.
And it's, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that is why every time arriving here, it will be new and new angles and videos and pictures.
Walking away from the school, I get what she means. You can't come here once and feel like you've seen or captured it all. We tend to talk about Chernobyl as a single moment in time, but disasters really don't work like that, do they? They spread, they ripple. The blast may have happened inside Reactor 4, but the consequences moved outward, settling into bedrooms, into classrooms, and childhoods that never got a chance to grow old. And this is only one side of the story, because next, we leave the city behind. We enter the power plant itself, and beneath it all, Reactor 4, the place where the fallout began.
What's the meter say?
52.
It's 52 right now. Yeah, we gotta get out of here.